Most people attend a graduation to celebrate, to clap, to take pictures. But no one expected that when a quiet janitor stepped into the auditorium, wearing his faded work boots and holding a single, wrinkled program, the entire crowd would go silent. No one expected a Navy Admiral, decorated with stars and ribbons, to freeze in place like she had seen a ghost. And no one expected it all to happen because of a tattoo. But that's exactly what happened. If you're hearing this story, don't scroll. Stay till the end, you won't regret it. And if the story touches your heart, don't forget to like the video and subscribe, because stories like this deserve to be remembered. It began on a warm June morning at Ridgewood High. Parents filed into the gym wearing their best clothes, excited, nervous, emotional. But on the very last row, almost hidden behind the light rig, sat a man in an old gray uniform. A man who didn't belong with the suited parents or the fancy dresses. A man who simply wanted to watch his son graduate. His name was Daniel Cole. He had worked as a janitor for 10 years. A single dad who survived on night shifts, old coffee, and the kind of determination life beats into people who have no one else to depend on. His son, Ethan, didn't know he was there yet. Daniel didn't want to embarrass him. He just wanted to see the kid walk that stage. That was enough. But the universe had other plans. As Daniel took his seat, the sleeve of his uniform slipped up. For a moment, his forearm was exposed. And that was when someone noticed the ink. Not the decorative kind, not the trendy kind, but the kind only issued to one unit. The kind earned with blood, silence, and names that never appear on public records. A black trident. A number. A symbol that wasn't supposed to exist outside top-secret files. A Navy SEAL group insignia, one that was disbanded, lost, and classified. Daniel didn't notice anyone watching him. He was too busy staring at the stage, heart pounding, waiting for Ethan's name. His fingers trembled. His clothes were worn, but his eyes were full of pride. Standing near the VIP entrance, Admiral Catherine Hale, one of the most respected leaders in the Navy, stopped mid-walk as she caught sight of Daniel's arm. The color drained from her face. Her aide whispered, "Ma'am, are you all right?" She didn't answer, because she recognized the tattoo. And the man who had earned it. Years ago, Hale had read a secret report about an operator known only as Ghost 6, a man who saved an entire team during a mission that went wrong, sacrificing his identity, his career, and nearly his life. The file was sealed. No one knew where he went. Many believed he never survived. But there he was, sitting in the back row of a high school gym, wearing a janitor uniform, watching his son graduate. Admiral Hale walked in his direction slowly, like approaching a memory. Daniel finally noticed her shadow and turned. Their eyes met, and Daniel instantly recognized her, the mission commander, the woman who had sent the extraction team that saved him. He stood up fast, almost knocking over the chair. "Admiral Hale," he whispered, stunned. "Ghost 6, she breathed. "You're alive." People nearby looked over. This wasn't normal graduation conversation. Daniel quickly pulled his sleeve down, nervous, embarrassed. "Ma'am, please, not here. I'm just here for my son," he said. But Admiral Hale wasn't a woman who ignored fate. She stepped closer, lowering her voice. "Why didn't you ever come back? The Navy thought you were gone." Daniel swallowed hard. "Because my wife died while I was deployed. My son had no one left. I chose him. It wasn't weakness. It was sacrifice." Hale nodded slowly, respect blooming in her eyes. "You gave up a career of honor to be a father," she said. "That's the greatest service of all." Before Daniel could respond, a loud announcement echoed. "Graduating with highest honors, Ethan Cole." Daniel's breath hitched. His chest swelled with emotions he hadn't felt in years. Ethan walked across the stage, tall, confident, smiling bright. But then something happened. Ethan looked past the lights, past the crowd, and his eyes froze when he saw his father. His face softened. He mouthed, "Dad." Daniel waved awkwardly, trying not to cry. Ethan stepped off the stage and walked straight through the rows of students and chairs until he stood right in front of his father. "You made it," Ethan whispered, voice cracking. Daniel nodded, but before he could speak, Admiral Hale stepped beside him. Ethan looked up at her, confused. "Sir," she said, addressing Daniel in front of Ethan, "it is my honor to finally shake your hand." She held out her hand not to a janitor, but to the man who once saved an entire team. The crowd noticed. Camera phones lifted. Whispers spread. Who was this janitor the Admiral was treating like a legend? Daniel hesitated, embarrassed, but Ethan said softly, "Dad, what's happening?" Daniel closed his eyes. He never wanted this moment. He never wanted the past to overshadow his son's future. But his son deserved the truth. He knelt so he was eye level with Ethan. "Son, I wasn't always a janitor. Before your mom died, before everything changed, I served. And one day, something went wrong. They thought I wouldn't survive. But I did. And I came home for you. Because you were the only thing I couldn't lose." Ethan's eyes filled with tears. "Dad, all those nights you worked late, all those shifts you took, you did everything for me." Daniel smiled gently. "That's what dads do." Admiral Hale stepped forward and rested a hand on Daniel's shoulder. "Ethan, your father is a hero in ways most people can't even imagine. And the Navy owes him a debt we can never repay." Then, she turned toward the stage and signaled the principal. What happened next stunned everyone. The microphone crackled, and the principal announced, "Ladies and gentlemen, we have an unexpected guest. Admiral Catherine Hale has requested a moment." The Admiral walked to the podium. The entire gym fell silent. "Today," she began, "we honor our students. But there is someone else here, a man of extraordinary courage. A man who carried out missions that protected this nation in ways most will never know. He disappeared years ago because he chose something greater than duty. He chose family." The crowd looked around, buzzing with confusion. "That man," Hale said, pointing toward the back row, "is Daniel Cole." Gasps echoed. Every student turned. Every parent stared. Daniel stood frozen, completely overwhelmed. But Ethan grabbed his father's hand and squeezed it tightly. "Dad," he said, voice shaking, "stand up." So Daniel did. The crowd erupted, applause, cheers, tears from people who didn't even know him. Cameras flashed. Students clapped. Teachers stood in respect. Daniel didn't want recognition. He didn't need applause. But in that moment, standing beside his son, he felt something he hadn't felt in years. He felt seen. After the ceremony, Admiral Hale approached Daniel again. "There's a position waiting for you," she said softly. "A consultant role. Training recruits. Flexible hours. Good pay. You deserve better than mops and buckets." Daniel looked at Ethan, uncertain. "What do you think, kid?" Ethan wiped his eyes. "I think it's time the world knows who my dad really is." Daniel finally allowed himself to smile, a real one, the first in years. He accepted the offer. Not because he needed honor. Not because he needed rank. But because he finally understood something important. He could serve his country and still be a father. Months later, people would still talk about the graduation where a janitor became a legend. Where a father became a hero. Where a tattoo sparked a moment that changed everything. And if you stayed through this whole story, take a moment. Like the video. Subscribe. Because real stories, stories of sacrifice, love, and second chances, deserve to be told, remembered, and shared.